जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
ओम ज्ञानदीपनान्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागरजगन्नाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगल्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्दा राधा कान्दा नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी शबानुसुते देवी नमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। भगवद गीता यथारूपम chapter 4 transcendental knowledge, and today's verses 15 to 18. So we read 15 first. Evam nyatva kridam karma purverabi mokshubhi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram kridam. Evam nyatva kridam karma purverabi mumukshubhi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvaihi purvataram kridam. Evam nyatva kridam karma purverabi mumukshubhi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvaihi purvataram kridam. Hare Krishna. Renuka Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Evam Nyatva Kritam Karma Purvai Apim Mumukshubhihi Guru Karmai Maiva Tasmai Purvai
Purvataram kridam.
Purvataram kritvam.
Right.
Purvataram kritvam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Snigdha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम
Krishna.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वे हि पूर्वतरं कृतम्।
Right.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Rekha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्मं पूर्वैरापि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Right. Jayaprada Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jayaprada Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right. You can read the verse 15, 1-5.
Okay, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Evam Jnatva Krutam Karma. Purvairapi Mumukshubhi. Kuru Karma Iva Tasmatvam Purvataram Krutam.
Right. Okay. Renuga Mataji can read the translation.
All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding, and so attained liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 16. Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayorapitra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajnatva mokshasya shubham. Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayorapitra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajnatva mokshasya shubham. Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayorapitra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajnatva mokshasya shubham. Right. Snigdha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। किं कर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिता तते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे अशुभात्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Yes, Rekha Mataji. Rekha
हरे
Mataji.
कृष्ण प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Krishna.
किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहितः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षस्य शुभात्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Right. Jayaprada Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Kim
Hare Krishna.
karma kima karmeti kavayo apyatra mohita tattve karma pravakshami yagnatva mokshase yashubhatha.
Okay. Renuga Mataji.
Kim karma akarmeti kavayopai atra mohita tatta karma pravashyami yajnatva mokshase shubhaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. Translation you can read Snigdha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare
Even
Krishna.
the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all sins. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right. Text 17. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha agarmanascha bodhavyam ghana karmano gadi. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha agarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. Karmano yabi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. Agarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. Yes, Jayaprada Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Karmano yapi bodhavyam cha vikarmana akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi.
Right. Hare Krishna. Rekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmana cha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Renuka Mataji.
Karmano api bodhyavam charkim vikarmanaha karmanasya bodhyam yam gahana karmano gati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Snigdha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Karmano yapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanasya bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right, Rekha Mataji can read the translation.
The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what is action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Text 18. Karmanya karmaya pashe agarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karmaka. Karmanya karmaya pashe agarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karmaka. Karmanya karmaya pashe agarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karmaka. Yes, Renuka Mataji.
Karmanye akarmaya pasche akarmani cha karmaya sadbuddhiman manushe yesu sayukta krishna karma krita.
It's not Krishna, Krishna. Krishna means whole.
Okay.
Sayukta Krishna karma.
Krishna karma krita. Krishna karma krita. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Snigdha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Karmanya karmaya pashyed karmani cha karmaya
Agarmani cha karmaya
अकर्मणि च कर्मयः सबुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु छयुक्तः कृत्स्न कर्मकृत्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Hare Krishna. Rekha Mataji.
Karmanya karmanya pashyat akarmani cha karmaya
Agarmani cha karmaya
akarmani cha karmaya buddha buddhiman manushyesu sayuktaha krishna karma krit. Hare Krishna.
Okay, right. Jayaprada Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Karmanya karmaya pasche akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyesu yuktah kritsna karma krit.
Right. Okay. You have the English book with you, Mataji?
No Prabhu. I have in regional language.
You're reading from Karnataka. Okay, right. And Renuka Mataji can read the translation.
One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So 15 verse. Evam nyatva kridam karma purvairavi mumukshubhi guru karmaiva tasmatvam purvaihi purvadaram kridam. I don't know. I'm reading from the edited version, so it will be difference between Macmillan version and this one. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Okay. So, Krishna, in the last two verses, has explained what is Nishkama Karma. How he is performing his action without any attachment. He said he has created all the varnas, four varnas, having created by him, but he is not in that varna. Varna system is for conditioned souls. It is a material arrangement by which one can gradually elevate oneself from the conditioned state or bonded state to liberated state, transcending these gunas. That is the real purpose of varna. Varna is not simply arrangement of work, although superficially it may look like people are assigned different works according to nature. But the real, of course, it is like that. But the real purpose behind this is that they can work, do their prescribed duties as a yajna, as a presentation, as a, can say, for the benefit of Krishna, so that they can overcome the sins occurred in the past. We are all having this all sinful activities. We have so much of karma bhala, reactions, karmic reactions. So much of pending is there. Puranas talk about what do you call that? The two types, karma are of three types. One is a whole complete accumulated karma, and then you have one that will fructify later, and one that is already fructified. That is called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is what that karma which has already been fructified, and because of that fructification, you have acquired a body. So the present body which you are having is on account of this prarabdha karma. Aprarabdha karma is one that are going to be accrued. There's so much of karma bhal pending, and aprarabdha karma means that which are yet to be fructified. So the purpose of doing this work as per the Varnashram system is so that you can overcome these karmic reactions, these impressions accrued from so many births, destroy it completely, destroy all the sinful reactions, and get liberated. When all the sinful reactions are destroyed, our heart becomes pure, and in our heart we can find the real knowledge. The knowledge is embedded in the heart, but the present being, our heart is impure. Because of that, we are not realizing the real knowledge, or we are not having this realized knowledge. Theoretical knowledge one may have. By reading scriptures, one may have theoretical knowledge. What is body? What is Atma? All those things regarding with the scriptures. A perfect understanding of Gita may be there. But the realized knowledge means that we can acquire, we can have only one heart is pure. For the purification of the heart, only the prescribed duties are prescribed by Krishna. So, when one becomes completely pure, then he should know the art of doing this prescribed work. The so-called Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma means without having any desire for results or desire for enjoying the fruits of work. Prabhuttam and Bhodrutam. Prabhuttam means I am the cause, I am the worker, I am doing this work, I am the doer. That feeling is called Prabhutva. Bhodrutva means I am the enjoyer of the fruits of my work. When both these are absent, then this is called nishkama karma. Actually, karma or karma yoga in Bhagavad Gita, you will find only karma yoga. You don't find any work like nishkama karma. But to define what is actually karma yoga, we are saying that karma yoga actually means doing your work, prescribed work, without desire for results and without desire for enjoying results, or without having a feeling that we are the doer. There is nishkama karma yoga, and that can happen only when your consciousness is devoted to Krishna. Then dharma becomes yajna. Yajnartat karmano anyatra logoyam karma bandhana. Which means when you are doing the work as something to please Krishna, that becomes yajna. Then only our heart will be purified, and then we can realize the knowledge. That's when Srimad Bhagavatam it says that Naishkarmyam abhi achyuta bhava varjidam. Naishkarmyam abhi achyuta bhava varjidam na shobhade jnanam alanchanam. Even though you may be doing the prescribed duties very correctly, perfectly, as per Shastras, but when achyuta bhava is missing, that means your consciousness, you are not doing as a presentation to Krishna, or submissing to Krishna, and then real knowledge cannot manifest in your heart. Na jnanamalanchanam, na shobhade jnanamalanchanam. The knowledge will not manifest. It will still be concealed. So, Krishna first teaches what is nishkama karma. And in verse 14, it is mentioned that Krishna is not affected by karma. No, he doesn't have a desire. And one who perfectly understands the work of Krishna in relation with the creation of four orders, then he is also liberated. He is also not affected by karma. So we can understand that Krishna is acting, Krishna is showing us, demonstrating how to execute the karma. So those people who are interested in liberation, they should follow this. In this verse 15, Krishna advises Arjuna that evam jnato akritam karma, evam, what has been mentioned before. Evam means thus, what has been mentioned before by Krishna, how Krishna has doing this nishkama karma, how people understanding this. Evam jnato, one who understands this karma, how to execute this karma. Who are these people who are interested in the work perfectly? The mumukshvi. Mumukshvi means one who desires liberation. One who desires liberation. They are very anxious in performing the work so that the work does not bind. Which means they are spiritualists. Now everybody is working. We are working, so I'm doing so many things also. Any action which is when the senses come into action and come into being, that is called action. And anything can be action, like walking, sitting, doing something with your hands, or doing your prescribed duties. So all actions, whether sense organs come into play, can be considered action. But real action means those pertaining to our varnas, and that also with a desire for liberation. So mumukshvi means he is interested how to execute the work perfectly. So Krishna advises that in olden times, starting from Vivaswan sons Vaivasvata Manu, Ikshagu, and all those kings which followed in the Parampara, Sun dynasty, everybody was interested in liberation. Everybody was interested working with a desire for liberation. And Krishna advises Arjuna that you have to follow those persons only. So this means parampara only, parampara system. Evam parampara jnatva. The second verse it said, Evam parampara prapta. So real knowledge is handed over from one generation to another generation, from guru to shishya. And knowledge pertaining to karma, Krishna is advising us how to do it. So in the purpose, Krishna says that why he is emphasizing on karma yoga, why Krishna is emphasizing on karma yoga, is because generally people are divided into two categories, one with a pure heart and one with an impure heart. More than 99% of people are with impure hearts. Impure hearts means the residual effect of karma, balance of karma, which is embedded in the heart. Heart becomes impure. Very, comparatively, very small percentage of people have pure heart. So karma yoga is basically meant for people having impure heart, so that by executing the work properly, the varna as per the varnas, they can slowly get over with these karmic reactions. And after attaining this state, Brahman realization, they can continue with Krishna consciousness. Now, executing work for the pleasure of Krishna actually is called Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is nothing but doing your work in Bhagavad Gita 9.27, it says, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yad dadasi juhosi yat tavasyasi kaunteya tat kurusha madarpana. Madarpana means offering to me. So all work should be offered to Krishna only. Whatever you do, yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, whatever you eat, yad juhoshi, whatever you give, means donate or give in charity. Juhoshi means what you offer. Dadas means what you give away. Yet tavasyasi, whatever austerities which you perform, tat kurishya madarpanam. Do it as an offering to me. So people, when they do these activities as an offering to Krishna, their impurities, actually that means it is in Krishna consciousness. The pleasure of Krishna is foremost. How to please Krishna? By offering Krishna whatever is results of your work or the work itself. So that way, when you gradually develop Krishna consciousness, you become Brahman realized, and then you remain in this, they get a pure heart. And those with pure heart, already with a pure heart, for them is Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is akarma. That will come the next and discuss in the next verses. Akarma means no need to work, but abstaining from work, refraining from work. And that is actually done by people who have realized themselves. Not merely abstaining from work as an excuse to run away from work, like Arjuna is interested in not doing war. He doesn't want to wage war now. That is running away from your prescribed duties. Running away from prescribed duties is not akarma. Akarma means one who has realized himself, or one who has got a very pure heart. He need not do any work. Prescribed work, that is, prescribed duties. That is akarma. But even those persons who have realized themselves, or who have a pure heart, they still continue with their work because they want to act as a model to others, like Janaka. We have seen that verse number 21 of the third chapter. Janaka, kings like Janaka, although they are liberated, they still continue to perform their duties because they want to teach others how to perform these duties, like Krishna is teaching us. So, which means that you should not stop the work at any point of time. Now, this liberated stage is not something you achieve in a different status of life, or maybe when you get old and all that. Some people say that when you get age, they become mature in age, you become 60, 70 and all that. This is automatic achieved. No. Liberated state realization is happens when you work according to instructions of Krishna, what is given in scriptures. Doing it as an offering to Krishna, and you do that only, you get liberation. Nobody can liberate himself by just studying some Bhagavad Gita scriptures and then waiting for ourselves to become very mature and get a feeling that, okay, when you have become 60, 70, 80, after reading Bhagavad Gita, when you reach that stage, or you start reading Bhagavad Gita at the age of 60, till that time you do whatever nonsense you want to do. After 60, you sit down one person, or you get retired, and then you sit down one place, start reading Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you can repeat it so many times also. And then you get a feeling that you are advancing in spiritual life. It is not so. Even from a very young age, you have to start the work. Whatever prescribed duties, on the prescribed duties nowadays means you may be doctor, you may be engineer, you may be a accountant, you may be a clerk, whatever field you are working, you have to work yourself. First of all, for maintaining your body. And maintaining the body means for doing service to Krishna. So that perfection comes when you do the work for Krishna, not because when you become automatic or old, automatic you reach a stage, you don't automatically reach any stage at all. So Srila Prabhupada says at any point of time you should not abstain or refrain from karma. So Arjuna is getting it out. Actually, that what does it mean, Krishna? What is karma and akarma? I don't know. You explained that everything nicely, but still I have some doubts. What is how can I really understand what is karma and what is akarma? What is action and what is inaction? So Krishna says, "Kim karma akarme, kim karma kim akarmedi kavyo abhyatamo." Arjuna, not only you, even the learned persons, they actually are not. They are bewildered. They are not very sure, or not very completely acquainted with the real what is work and what is not work. Even sometimes they say that just abstaining from work itself in action. That is the idea of inaction, is stop all the work. That is not so. That I'll explain. Tatte pravakshami karma, tatte karma pravakshami yajñatva mokshasya shubha. I explain to you what is actually action and what is inaction. Again, we have to understand this in a disciplic system. Krishna says, Purvairavi Purvakram. How the ancient people have attained liberation by doing this work, you have to understand from them. So Srimad Bhagavatam gives an example of 12 Mahajans. That is given in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahma, Narada, Rudra, Kapila, 4 Kumaras, Manu, and then Janaga, Bhishma, Prahalada, Yama, and Shukadeva Goswami and Bali Maharaj. These are the 12 Maharajas. In that purpose, Srila Prabhupada mentions it in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. The Mahajans are mentioned. So this is the best way to understand what is karma and akarma, is to by following the footsteps of these Mahajans. But Krishna gives an explanation In next verse 17, karmano hapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanha agarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gadi. So in relation to karma, you have to understand three aspects. What is karma? What is forbidden action, and what is inaction? Karmana means karma, prescribed duties, karma yoga. Vikarmana means that is which is against the principle of Krishna consciousness. And karma yoga, we have understood that karma yoga means Krishna consciousness, working with Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness means transcending these gunas, transcending their desire for fruits and all that, working with the Nishkama Karma Yoga. That is Krishna consciousness. And anything which is against the principles of Krishna consciousness is Vikarma. So Vikarma actually does not mean that it is not mentioned in Shastras. It is mentioned in Shastras in Karma Yoga. In second chapter, you can find Yamimam Pushpidam Majam Prabhadyante Avibhashchida. Mean people who are interested in fruitive activities, elevating themselves to higher planets, making the life very better and better in the present planet, and acquiring some powers. All those desires are there, and doing so many social activities. These are all part of these material desires, which is called Karma Kanda section. Karma Kanda section, Vedas, Karma Kanda sections. They give so many yajnas, which should be executed for the pleasure of demigods. And each demigod is assigned with some powers and ability to give you some. Suppose you want wealth, you have to worship Deva Indra. Suppose you want health, you can worship Ganapati. If you want a good husband, you can worship Parvati. So many. These are given. All the demigods, when he pleases demigod, whatever is desired there, and pertaining to that desire, some demigods will be there. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, third chapter, verse number 8 and 9, a big list is given, by which you can worship all these demigods and attain whatever is your desire. But the real purpose of Vedas is to realize yourself, which is given in Jnana Kanda, and through Upasana by worshipping Krishna, is Upasana Kanda. So Jnana Kanda and Upasana Kanda is a real text of Vedas. If you don't understand that and do work for a fruitive activity, that becomes Vikarma. Forbidden action sense that these actions are not good for liberation or the proper work. That is, they become. That's why they become forbidden action. One who is interested in liberation, mumukshuvi, you have to understand that we are talking in terms of people who are interested in liberation only. For those persons who are interested in liberation or Brahman realization or Krishna realization, for them, this kind of work, which is fruitive activities, is Nishiddha karma or Vikarma. So Karma Yoga means prescribed duties, Vikarma means fruitive action, and Agarma means abstaining from action when you are becomes self-realized. At that point only Agarma, inaction comes, because it is no longer needed. It is no longer needed for you to do any action for purification. For there is no purpose now. You are already liberated. So that is akarma. So one who perfectly understands, Krishna said, I'll make you understand bodhavyam. I'll teach you what is karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. So actually Krishna, then Arjuna gets to how karma and akarma can be equal. How they are on the same platform. He's asking karma, karmani agarmaya pashe. Karmani means in action. When you see in action, and in action you find action. In action, and action in inaction. One who has realized that, he is actually the most intelligent person. What does that mean? Inaction, in action. Action means actually done for purification heart. And when you do that, naturally the jnana, knowledge manifests in your heart, which is agarma, which is a result of agarma. Or this is and then this karma acts as a cause. The karma is in the cause of this akarma. And akarma, when you find karma in akarma, because this knowledge gathering activity is action itself. When the heart is getting pure, then the result is we find that the result is in cause, and then cause is also in result. Both are together. Both become one. Both karma yoga and akarma yoga, akarma or jnana yoga, they are become one in the sense that the ultimate goal of both karma yoga and jnana yoga is the same, Brahman realization only. So there is no actually difference between karma yoga and jnana yoga, because Arjuna's interest is to rely on jnana yoga, means akarma. He wants to abstain from work. What Krishna says that the result of karma yoga and the result of jnana yoga, both are same. So that is why I say one who finds some jnana in karma and karma in jnana, he is actually the most intelligent person. Jnana in karma and karma in jnana. If you execute, change the akarma to jnana, then the verse becomes more clear. You find jnana in karma and karma in jnana. Then he understands that both are equal. Now, in the fifth chapter, Krishna says, Sankhya Yoga Pradak Bala. Sankhya means Jnana Yoga. Yoga means Karma Yoga. Pradak means different. So one who considers Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga are different, they are Bala. Bala means a child, means one who is not knowledgeable. We'll find the next chapter, verse number 50 and fifth chapter, I think verse 6, I think. Verse 4, verse 4 of fifth chapter. Sankhya Yoga Pradak Bala Prabadandina Pandidaha. One who has realized himself, who has realized this, the intelligent person, they don't differentiate between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. This differentiation of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga is done by people who has no knowledge, ignorant. Bala, it's called Bala means child. Child means one who doesn't understand. One is not knowledgeable. One who is intelligent, he knows that Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga ultimately the same because the result is the same. So action in karma, action in action, action. One who realizes perfectly, he is a perfect man who is the most intelligent person, and he is yukta. Yukta means he is fit for liberation. One should be fit for. If you want to be liberated, you have to be qualified. You have to, acquire the necessary qualification. And from this point of scriptures, one who has really perfectly understood what is Karma Yoga and what is Jnana Yoga, he is a perfect candidate for realization or liberation. And he can do any work. Kritsna karma kar. Sabuddhiman manusheshu sayuktaha kritsna karma kar. He can engage in any activity. Because he has a real understood. Yes, Snidamaji.
Can you explain with one example that action in inaction and inaction in action? Can you explain with one example, Prabhuji?
Example?
Yes.
Example, we can point out some persons like Janaka Maharaj. Janaka Maharaj was a king. A king has Kshatriya. Kshatriya means he has to work. He has got so many prescribed duties, which is given in the 18th chapter. He is doing work. Simultaneously, he is a realized person also. So akarma actually means jnana, one person who is realized himself, and for him there is no necessity for doing the work. But Janaka Maharaj is already liberated person, and still he is continuing his action. He is not abstaining from work. And the process by which he has secured this knowledge is through executing the work perfectly. And this knowledge, in knowledge also we can find this action, because the process of acquiring knowledge is also action. The process of acquiring knowledge is also action. Are you understanding?
Yes.
The knowledge gathering process is also action. So that is why Krishna says, when you find action in action.
Yes.
And inaction in action. Action means prescribed duties. And when prescribed duties are done perfectly, you will find inaction means knowledge.
And doing prescribed duty in Krishna conscious is
yes.
karma.
Because you have to understand, first of all, action, work, and then dharma and jnana or yajna. Any action cannot be dharma. Dharma means relating to your varna.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
Prabhuji.
When you do your work, prescribed duties, that becomes dharma. And when this dharma is done as an offering to Krishna, it becomes yajna. But one who has realized himself, Krishna consciousness, for him this yat karoshi yat yashnasi, all actions, everything you do, because you want to eat. Why you want to eat? First of all, you offer to Krishna, then you eat. You want to eat means you have to nourish your body.
Yes.
And why you want to nourish your body? Because you are using this body for service of Krishna only.
Yes.
Okay, you are working as a teacher now, after nourishing body. But why you want to working as a teacher? Because you want to get some income, for that you can maintain your family and body. And what is the purpose of maintaining body is to render service to Krishna. So the work, what you are doing, automatically becomes Krishna conscious.
Yes, that is known as akarma.
And that is actually akarma. When you realize this and realize yourself, then actually that becomes akarma only. Because knowledge has already manifested. Person who has realized himself, he actually need not do the prescribed duties. Understand that? A person who has realized himself, he need not no longer do the prescribed duties pertaining to his varna.
Yes.
Now, in your case, suppose you are a teacher and you have realized yourself, it is not necessary for you to work anymore. But you are still doing that because you want to show others how to work properly. So in liberated state also, one can continue with work. Until or you are completely for Krishna only. Let us say you become a full-time preacher.
But before Krishna told person can stay without doing work.
Nobody can survive without doing work. Everybody, even suppose you want to eat, maintain your body, you have to do some action, isn't it? You cannot abstain from work. There is given in verse number 8. Sharira yatra bhi na prasiddhet agarmani.
Yes.
Sharira yatra means maintaining the body.
Yes. But in akarma, why we don't have to do work? Because we realized.
I didn't get that.
If you understand this, then you don't have to do work. It is given.
You don't have to work. You don't have to work in the sense that you have to maintain the body, one thing. But actually, agarma actually in a sense means you need not do the prescribed duties of pertaining to varna.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the present scenario, since the Varnashrama system has collapsed, there is no longer pure Brahmanas or Kshatriyas or Vaishyas and Shudras. There is no longer the so-called prescribed duties. I mean, prescribed duties pertaining to Varna is not there. But ISKCON is trying to re-establish this Varnashrama system since that we have this, we have got community projects going on. Recently, I posted a small village in Andhra Pradesh, where there is a village with some families, 50 or 60 families are staying together and doing the community project. And the whole interest is to work for self-realization. And so they are doing some small agriculture, whatever is basic things which are required for maintaining a body, food, then clothes. And then whatever is they are producing extra, they are bartering with other village people. Suppose you cannot produce oil, something like that, which is required for cooking. Those things you can barter with others and take the old time bartering. Barter system was there. There is no money was used. Barter system means goods against goods. Suppose you have cow, you sell a cow and then get some agriculture in some few kilos of rice, something like that. So this is barter system. So we are doing the barter system. We are cultivating something, and with the excess what we have, we are trying to get some goods which is not having this. So that way, the system of money is done with. There is no electricity, so that your body requirements becomes very minimum. You're constantly focusing only on scriptures and rendering devotional service. We are trying to bring back the system so that people need not work hard for maintaining their body. So many people, they leave the villages and go to cities, some places, and try to maintain a living. Ultimately, they work like hog, and there is no spiritual life at all. The system has slowly collapsed. But people, Srila Prabhupada says, when you first have to do Krishna consciousness, understand this. And so even then, even if you are doing any kind of work in the modern society, okay, you do it till the time you retire, but always with the idea that you are working only for perfecting yourself. Which means you need not be too much attached to work. Some people get attached to work because, okay, without work, so many people are depending on me. So many children are depending on me for getting education. So that kind of feeling you do not have. You work, they just teach, do your job. That's all. Or some people may be very anxious of getting promotions or getting high salaries.
Yes.
So whatever is your job, you just stick to your job. Do it so that you get an income. With that income, you maintain the family, and whatever excess is there, do it for Krishna consciousness. Spend it for Krishna consciousness. So
Yes,
that there you find karma and akarma together. So that is an example. You can take yourself as an example. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Understood?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Rekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna.
You told that the inaction in action, no? Means self-realized person is doing their prescribed duties. It means inaction in action.
Yes.
Action in inaction. Self-realized person doing his prescribed duties.
Yeah, self-realized person. The action in action means knowledge gathering process is action. The knowledge gathering process is action itself. So at one point, these become they merge together. So that's why they give an example of Janaka Maharaj, and this is highlighted in order that Chandlians, so people who are becomes mithyachara people, they abstain from work they depend on others. They don the work of a man, the garb of a sannyasi, and they ask for donations from people. They become very rich and then maintain their body and other things very opulently. They may have some knowledge. Of course, they would have studied scriptures and all that, and they have some knowledge, and they are able to talk also nicely, and people are attracted by this, and then they get a name of being jnani, they become very famous also, but ultimately they are not realized. Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 18th chapter, regarding Varnashrama system, verses 40 and 41, 40 and 41, they actually, he describes that scenario. One actually who has not self-realized. Self-realized means one who has the correct knowledge, realized knowledge. And realized knowledge can come only when who worship Krishna through a spiritual master. Verses 38, 39, 40, 41. I don't know whether you have in Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, otherwise, I'll share it. And it is very clearly given that in 40, 41, one is that these theoretical scholars, they know that you have to control your senses, but you are not able to control your senses, nor your intelligence, because you are not dovetail, your intelligence and sense are not dovetail to Krishna service. And to understand what is Krishna service, you should need a spiritual master. So when you don't have, when you are not serious about realizing Krishna through a spiritual master, you have theoretical knowledge only. And with that theoretical knowledge, you pretend to be a jnani, and then you abstain from work. And that is not akarma. So they are cheating on, these people are cheating only others, the public or innocent people, they are cheating innocent people. They're getting money from innocent people, and they're building big ashramas, and then doing some social activities also. And ultimately they get a big name also. But they are not realized. So they are not actually in the akarma state. Akarma state means one who has realized himself. They are not fit for karma. So unless you become, totally your internals and all those what do you call heart's misgivings, all this dirtiness in your heart is cleansed up. At that point only you can stop working.
Prabhuji, in Srimad
Yes.
Bhagavatam is given about karma, vikarma, karma.
Vikarma.
Yes, in Bhagavatam is it given?
Are you asking about vikarma?
Vikarma is viparita karma. It is against the prescribed duty, I think.
Those which are against the understand principles of Krishna consciousness. Krishna, Srila Prabhupada gives it very nicely. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes, one has to learn one's relationship with Supreme. That is, one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And any other conclusion against this consciousness and its attendant action are vikarma. The conclusion is that you are a living entity, you are part of Krishna, you have to serve Krishna. That is a proper understanding. That is Krishna consciousness. Any action which is against this conclusion is vikarma. Vikarma means that you are working for your sense gratification. So vikarma means fruitive activities only.
Yes, Prabhuji. Is it again given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhuji, regarding the karma and karma?
It is given, karma yoga is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. And of course, you'll find everything what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, you will find in Srimad Bhagavatam. You have mentioned the 12 Mahajans are there. These are the examples. You'll find in Srimad Bhagavatam also. In first canto, verse chapter number 5, you'll find these verses in relationship akarma and karma. That one is called Naishkamim Abhi Achyuta Bhava Varjanam Na Shobhade Jnana Maranjanam. Even if you are doing the Nishkama or Karma Yoga, when you are not giving as offering, when you done Achyuta touch, we are not really submissive to Krishna, and then the knowledge cannot be manifested.
Yes.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not taught as like Bhagavad Gita or the yogas and separately Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. It is not given, but it is we can understand this yoga through the relationship with the devotees. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a practical thing of what the principles are stated in Bhagavad Gita. The realizations, people who are acting according to principles or acting against the principles, their narrations is actually called Puranas. And among the Puranas, the best Purana is Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
You will not find it, of course, in so many, we can find so many discourses between Krishna and so many discourses between devotees, where all these are explained very nicely. Now, in our present chapter, 7th canto, Narada is explaining so many things to Yudhishthira. So, in that Varna things are said, what is the duty of householder, what is the duty of brahmachari, sannyasi, and what is the real understanding of a civilized person, the 15th chapter. So, these things are all based on Bhagavad Gita's principles only.
Yes.
You can listen to Bhagavatam class also. We are posting in our group.
Prabhuji, it is not in English, I think.
yeah. That is a that is I don't know how to solve that. To start English class in Bhagavatam also. And Bhagavatam is so huge, no? So we have to cover. Even now we are only on the 7th chapter only.
Prabhu,
So,
started English Bhagavatam.
7th canto. Yes, Degamaji.
If you started English Bhagavatam, that will be more convenient for us.
So, like Bhagavad Gita, we can say, okay, 3 days we can have Bhagavad Gita Malayalam, 3 days we can have English. We can finish in 1.5 years or 2 years, max at the most 2 years. Suppose you are doing the same for Bhagavatam, it will take at least 50 years. In temples, actually, Srimad Bhagavatam, only one verse is taken every day. Total verses are 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, if you're taking 18,000 verses, take the 50 years to complete that. But 360 into 50 is 18,000. So suppose you are doing both English and Malayalam, it will take 100 years. But of course, we are doing three verses or 4 verses even one day. So we hope to finish in making 10 years. We have started in 2016. Now it's 6 years over. So 7 canto is over now. So it will take 12 to 13 years sometime. Madaji, I think Shiva Madaji, I cannot. Sorry. That's
Prabhu,
better.
Now I am reading Bhagavatam in mobile, Prabhu. One app is there. In that I am reading Bhagavatam English.
Yes,
Bhagavatam.
you can download Veda Base. In your app or the Veda Base. Veda Base contains all the books of Purva.
But now I started only first canto, Prabhu. But you are taking 7th canto.
7th canto.
So what I am.
Now what you can do is you can join the class and start reading this one.
7th canto.
Let me see. I am given one English set to my uncle. He is not very comfortable with that. So he said that he will return to me.
Okay.
Once that is returned, I can give you that set of books. Okay.
Okay.
It is more convenient to read from books rather than looking at the mobile. And I'm not very comfortable. Of course, we have to
mobile
read.
Is not comfortable, Prabhu.
Not comfortable. For continuous reading, okay, 5 minutes, okay, 1 hour, we have to for giving class, I look into this one also for reference, like this 40 and 41 of this 11th canto, 18th chapter. We can for reference we can read mobile, but for continuous reading, it's very difficult to read from mobile. You need books.
Prabhuji, actually, I have Srimad Bhagavatam with me and I am reading, but it is very difficult to understand. Srimad Bhagavatam is quite difficult to understand.
Actually, net is not very clear, so.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One more question, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, thinking also become action, no Prabhu?
Yeah, thinking is also an action.
Action, okay.
Thinking is also action. Thinking is of our mind.
Mind, okay, Prabhu. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra whole day and doing our work, then it affects karma.
No, actually, your working means you have to see. You as a Grihastha Mataji, you have to do your work. You know, you have to cook, you have to clean the house. So many things you have to do. That is your work. That you cannot abstain from work. But then you are chanting and doing the work means actually why do you want to work means first of all cooking food is there, and you have to maintain your body. Then you need you have to maintain that shelter, the house, keep in the proper order. You have to clean that also. This is your duty. This is your karma. And when you are doing this with a consciousness that I am doing for Krishna, I'm maintaining my body for Krishna. I'm staying the house in the presence of Krishna. You can have photo of Krishna or deity of Krishna in your one place, and that means you can consider that house to be a house of Krishna only, and you are staying there as his servant, and then you can stay there in the house also. Suppose you feel that the house is mine and I want to enjoy staying and residing in this house for my pleasure, then that becomes vikarma. And you feel that the house is not mine, it is my Krishna's only. I'm residing in this house to serve Krishna, then that becomes karma yoga. It is actually the consciousness. With what consciousness? Action done by people, vikarma action, whatever it is, action is the same. But with what consciousness you are doing, that matters. You are cooking, and non-devotee is also cooking. But non-devotee is cooking for his pleasure. You are cooking for offering to Krishna for his pleasure, and then you are partaining his residue. So action is the same. Cooking is the same. Cleaning the house is also the same. Action is the same. But with the consciousness is that matter. Any action, the action may be the same, but with what consciousness, the purpose behind this action is more important.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Right. Thank you. Right, Signamaji, you can chant Hare Krishna. I didn't get you a last question. Maybe can you just send it my WhatsApp? Because I think some problem with the network. I cannot really clearly. It was not very audible to me.
It is audible, Prabhuji.
Is it my network? Can anybody? Can others hear this?
Yes, Prabhuji. It is audible, Prabhuji.
Okay, maybe you can raise it next class. Can you sing the kirtan now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayini. Yanyakashi Purvaya. Tatankanakhalai. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Yato yato yami tato Narasimha. Bahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha. Narasimhamadi Sharanam Prapati. Tabakara Kamala अद्भुत शृंगम दारिता हिरण्यकशिपुतन भृंगम केशबद्रित नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल बोल हरि बोल ओम उग्रं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं
सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं
कृष्णं
भद्रं
भद्रं
मृत्युंजयं
मृत्युमृत्युंजयं श्रीनरसिंहं
वीरं
कृष्णं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं
महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं
ओमकं नरसिंहं भीष्णं भद्रं मृत्युमृत्युर्नमः श्रीनरसिंह जय नरसिंह जय जय श्रीनरसिंह प्रहलादेशा जय पद्मभृंगा श्रीनरसिंह जय नरसिंह जय जय श्रीनरसिंह प्रहलादेशा जय पद्मभृंगा। सिद्ध भक्ति विनाशकारी श्री नरसिंह देव भगवान की
जय
वैष्णव भक्त शेष प्रहलाद महाराज की
जय
जय गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि
हरि हरि बोल। Thank you very much. Vacha kalpatarushcha
Dubasya, Siddha Pavanapi, Vaishnava